All right, we're going to be talking about the new moon in Cancer coming in on July the 5th. This is also in a universal month number 6. So if you haven't seen the July forecast, I definitely recommend watching that. I did cover the month in a bit of detail, but more from an energetic standpoint of what to expect with the universal month number 6 in effect, but also this new moon in Cancer. So we're going to be specifically speaking, of course, to the new moon in Cancer here and what it means, especially with this universal month number 6 in numerology. So in numerology, the 6 is the archetype of the nurturer. It is reflective of love, of acceptance, and protection. I'm going to talk about more of the higher polarities in this video because we're going to be working with the new moon, and new moons are all about setting new intentions. New moons are a beautiful time for a clean slate, and with this particular archetype of Cancer, we're going into the water, we're going into the intuition, we're going into the softer side of ourselves. Now for this new moon with the archetype of 6 is very, very complementary. So we have a very beautiful time to work with our emotions and to work with love and to work with maybe even healing our heart or creating nurturing and meaningful connections. What that means for us or what that means for you. What kind of relationships do you want? Not only with other people, but of course with yourself, because you are at the origin of it all. So in order for us to create and cultivate meaningful relationships, we also must have a meaningful and loving relationship with ourselves, and that is self-acceptance. And I do feel that there is going to be a theme of this involved with this new moon. Of course, as I mentioned, new moons are a time for a clean slate. It is a time to set new intentions. So on the 5th, take some time to connect with your heart. Take some time to connect with the softer side of yourself. Maybe even allow for yourself to open up to new opportunities with regards to matters of the heart or even of the home, as Cancer does have a very nice resemblance or trait of the home, strengthening the relationship with home, if it is home within self or if it is home within your home physical space. How can you cultivate a safe and secure relationship with the theme of home? But of course, tied to the aspect of love. We all have this archetype within ourselves somewhere, more so for some than others, but we all can work with this archetype for our own inner journey. And of course, the moon being Cancer's ruling planet does allow us to go a bit deeper within ourselves. So the moon is the planet of the unconscious. It is the planet of emotions, of intuition. It's related to more of the feminine archetype. And the moon, of course, is one of the more stronger influences on Earth regarding its influence on many aspects of our being and of the Earth plane. So the moon is very beautiful to work with. And of course, the moon ruling Cancer does have a very strong relationship to the unconscious, meaning to our intuition, our sensitivity, our emotional side. As I mentioned in the July forecast video, Cancer is the first water zodiac in the zodiac calendar, and it does offer us a time to start to connect with our emotions and start to also maybe heal aspects of ourselves or to create closer relationships with aspects of ourselves, meaning self-love, self-acceptance, healing the heart, and thus, of course, creating meaningful relationships as a result. The 6 archetype in numerology tied with this new moon is very, very, very complementary. And then, of course, after this new moon, we have a 6th day. So we do have a double 6th day coming in right after this new moon. Then I do feel that this new moon is going to be a very nice opener for self-love, for self-acceptance, for connecting maybe more with our intuition and strengthening that relationship. I'm sure we all can relate to experiences that we've gone through in our lives where we have not honored our intuition or maybe not even understood what our intuition is. But this is a developmental phase where we become more attuned with our intuition and what that means for us, and then creating a strong relationship with being very supportive of our intuition, our gut feeling, our heart, our senses, right? So it's one thing being intuitive and having a strong sense about something, but then it's the other honoring it and listening to the intuition and maybe saying no or creating those strong boundaries. So there are all these different factors when working with our intuitive self, but the more we can listen, the easier our life becomes because our intuition is our main guidance system. Our intuition guides us through life. life, right? And I have many experiences when I had not been listening to my intuition, hadn't fully developed it. I hadn't created a strong relationship with my intuition. Therefore, I was putting myself in compromising situations or setting myself back or creating more problems or difficulties in my life. And this intuition that we have is connected with our heart. Our heart is very sensitive and it is very powerful, and it is often overlooked in modern society. Now, this exercise of working with the unconscious, working with the moon, working with this archetype is about returning home, returning maybe to our heart, returning to a space that we feel comfortable in, maybe building a home space or building relationships that are safe, that are nurturing, that are supportive. And so what does that look like for you? So use this time for this new moon to set those intentions down. Write them down on paper. What kind of maybe relationships you would like, or a relationship? What needs to be healed? What can you let go of to open up space for new? How can you honor your intuition more? How can you listen to your intuition more? What kind of space would you like to create? Maybe a home space or physical or emotional space. And what does that feel like, most importantly? When we work with the water archetypes, when we work with our emotions, and especially the belief system, is based on feelings. And we are in this watery, beautiful energy of Cancer where we get to connect more with that. And when we connect more with our feelings, we strengthen our beliefs and we create a stronger result in our outer environment, in our outer world. So the relationship with ourself is always number one. And when we dive into the depths of our intuition, of our senses, of our emotions, and we work on maybe creating boundaries and letting go of attachments or letting go of memories or emotions or a person or a situation, and we return more to home, create more boundaries, for example. They could be energetic boundaries, they can be emotional boundaries, they can be physical boundaries. Boundaries are going to be a crucial part of this. What kind of boundaries maybe could be implemented so that you can create a stronger sense of home or a stronger sense of peace or alignment within yourself. You may also work with this new moon to create intentions around self-acceptance and self-worth. This is also a very important one, and it does connect with our heart. How can you strengthen the relationship maybe with your heart, your sense of self-worth and your sense of self-acceptance? And what does that feel like when you fully accept yourself? I observed something very interesting last night that I do want to share with you because I feel it is very much related to what I'm speaking to here, what the new moon is offering us and where we are in this year, in this time with the Cancerian energy and the universal month number 6. Acceptance is, I feel, can be very overlooked. We may opt for taking care of other people, which is an archetype or a trait of the 6 energy, where we may be so self-sacrificing, where when we give, we may want to take care of people, where we may lose our sense of self or our values or our own needs. When we return to self-acceptance, when we take time to connect with our heart and connect with ourself and learn to love ourself, then we strengthen the relationship within ourselves and the relationships in our outer world. All right, so what I observed last night actually, I was with family, and there was one person in particular who was having a really bad, it's like a cough or a throat issue. And we were all very concerned and wanting to help this person. And this person was rejecting it and telling us all to leave me alone and to don't worry about me, and almost deflecting people's concern or desire to help. And so this person was immediately putting their hand up and not wanting help and just leave me alone and I'm fine and don't worry about it. When we all just were, not overdoing it, but just generally concerned. And so I do feel this, it really rang true for me in that moment. I saw this behavior. I saw what was happening in a way where this person was not accepting love, was not accepting help, was not accepting nurturance, was not accepting care. And when we are not accepting ourselves, we reject others. We reject help from others. We reject interpersonal relationships. We reject love. We reject the meaningful connection with others and the support from others. And this also has to do with manifestation. So if we are not feeling acceptable within ourselves, self-accepted, and feeling a strong sense of self-worth and love within ourselves, then we are not going to, on a deep psychological or behavioral level, we're not going to be able to accept the support from the universe or from others, thus also affecting our abilities, or maybe even getting in the way of manifesting. right? So if we are not open within our heart to accept love and to accept support and to accept help, for example, then we're not going to be able to manifest fully because we're not open enough and we're not feeling worthy enough of what we maybe really desire, right? So this new moon, I feel, is going to be a very strong component or give us a strong opportunity to connect with this aspect of ourselves, our sense of self-worth, our sense of self-love, our sense of self-acceptance. So where can you bring in more of this connection with self-love and self-acceptance and self-worth, and be open to receive, be open to accept help and relationships and meaningful connections and support from the universe, from others, in the meaningful and rich ways that you are truly desiring within your heart, right? And so it kind of ties in this whole loop of self-acceptance, of connecting with the heart, connecting with the emotions, maybe healing the heart, maybe opening up. This is an opener in a sense, right? So in most cases, we do have to let go. We do have to come to terms, or we do need to heal something from the past in order to open up for a new path forward. So if this is resonating with you, you can use this new moon for that ability to resolve from the past, to heal, or to commit and set intentions of what needs to be done in order for you to heal, and giving yourself some time and space to move through the process. As it is a gentle process with Cancerian energy in the water, it does take time. There are many layers and dimensions working with the water archetypes and working with our hearts, for example, or our emotional self. There are many dimensions to this work. So you can set intentions with this new moon pertaining to anything that does need to heal. If you need to allow yourself space for healing, time for healing, or if you can invest in any modalities or practices to help you heal, that would be also very valuable. But you can also set intentions with what kind of future do you want, pertaining to love, pertaining to relationships, pertaining to maybe family, pertaining to home, how that feels for you, how that resonates with you. But remembering the very, very, very origin of all of it is going to be your relationship with yourself on a deep level, in a deep heart level, your self-worth, your self-acceptance, your connection with your heart. And then after this new moon on the 6th, you can really connect with this frequency of love. We have a double 6 day. We have the universal month number 6 in effect, plus the 6th day in the month right after this new moon. So you can spend some time maybe in a meditative state, maybe in contemplation, maybe even moving throughout your day-to-day, just dropping into your heart. Be very mindful of this, the connection within your heart, the purity within your heart, your intuition as well. Dropping into the heart and embodying a sense of unconditional love within yourself. Maybe even using this energy for forgiveness and for letting go and for healing. And then feel into this limitless, expansive energy of love, self-acceptance. Love is unconditional. The true form of love starts from within ourselves. So the 6th day, the day after the new moon, will help support your intentions that you had set during the new moon on the 5th. Right. So the 5th day, if you want to go into numerology, does represent change. We just came from a universal month number 5 in June, and 5 represents change. 5 is a very dynamic number, right? So you can think of the intentions that you're going to set during this new moon are going to create change. This is actually, now that I'm saying this, I feel it's actually a very powerful new moon. When we work with our emotions, when we work with our deep belief system based on our feelings, based on the connection with ourselves, with our heart, with our senses, it's a very, very, very powerful place to manifest from. So take some time during this new moon to connect with the feelings of these aspects of yourself. Connect with the feelings of your future reality. Envision your future reality. How does it feel? How does it connect within your heart? And also, of course, make sure that you are connecting with unconditional love. How does that feel within yourself? And work with this energy for the 5th and the 6th day. I do feel that this is going to offer a very powerful, potent ability for us to connect with a deeper aspect within ourselves, an aspect for powerful manifestation, because we are connecting with love. We are connecting with the frequency of love. We are connecting with the power of our beliefs. We are connecting with the power of our heart, our intuition. And that is a very, very, very powerful place to be. So during the new moon, make sure to write down your intentions on paper. You can write them down, speak them into the universe, make them so. You can even drop into a visualization meditation of visualizing your future manifestation, your future reality. And of course, always, this one is all about the feelings. It's all about going into the beliefs and the heart and our deeper selves, our intuition with how this feels. So connect with the feeling of it. Connect with the feeling of maybe relationships. Connect with the feeling of unconditional love. Connect with the feeling of maybe forgiveness. Connect with the feeling of your heart and your intuition and your softer side. And then, of course, yes, you can also relate it to aspects of the home, if it is in the physical space or the safety and security within yourself. And of course, if you'd like to light a sage, you can clear out your space from the old. This last cycle that we have been in was it was quite intense, I feel, especially the last full moon in Capricorn. You can take a smudge and clear out the space, make space for new, and any other rituals that you would like to incorporate during this new moon would be very beneficial. But remember, this is all about returning to our heart, connecting with our heart, tuning in with our intuition, with our senses, with our softer side, and creating space for a new based on that. All right, so I'm wishing you all the best during this new moon and beyond, and I will see you again very soon. Take care.